Game 7 tonight.
Oh, I don't want to talk about. I don't want to jinx them. I just know last night in the seventh inning, my wife tried to talk to me and I wouldn't speak to her. I said, let me concentrate on this. Great move by the manager, though, by the way. Get the win you have to get.
How about Game 7 for you guys, Michigan State? They moved the ball on you guys a little bit.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Well, I think they had some good runs, and I think we didn't tackle as well as we should have, and I think our guys up front would say that at times we got a little high, and we haven't been doing that. And, they saw it themselves. It's the kind of group it is, and, we addressed it, and you keep moving forward.
Is that more on your D-line?
Yeah, I think I'm the kind of person, and our players, I think the D lineman would say, if a team runs the football, it's the D line, and that we take great pride in that we don't want anybody to be able to run the football, and when they do it, we look at ourselves first, and that's the way it is.
When you see Jabril do all the things he did in that game and yet be able to move like he did when he scooped up that fumble, what are your thoughts?
That's Jabril. He's a special player. You see him practice like that. You see him in practice. A lot of guys you don't see that. He's in practice, and he'll do something like that, intercept the ball or something like that, and you'll see him take off running. And you look and whoa, where did that come from? And that's just the way he plays.
Brian still looks like he's working through some stuff. Monet.
But I think he's back. He's practicing really hard, and I think if anything, it's probably rust. He had so many great reps during camp, and and leading into the first game or the second game, and then when you take 3 weeks off and he's you're rotating in there, you're not playing every snap, and so I think he just needs to get more playing time, and he's doing very well.
With the health of your defensive line overall, how is that holding up going into the November grind?
It's as well as can be expected. These kids are very, very physical football players, and they've gone against some big offensive linemen, some physical offensive linemen. But having the ability to rotate them has allowed us then for them not to have 60 or 70 reps. Getting off on third down has allowed us not to have to play 10, 12 extra reps, and so they're doing well. I think their health is very good.
Is fresh of a defensive line have you had this point in the season?
Yeah, I think mentally and physically. I think they both come to meetings every day ready to go. They both practice, or they all practice with the kind of intensity we want, the alertness we want, and it's a special group. I mentioned that the first time we talked. It's a special group. They love playing together. They have respect for each other. They know that the bar is very high for them, and so some people, and people gain a few yards every once in a while, they'd say, no big deal. This group takes it to heart, and that's what I think separates them.
Thoughts about seeing DJ across the field on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm proud of him. I've always been proud of him ever since he was a graduate assistant for me when I was at Notre Dame, and he's done a great job. We always knew that. Jim wouldn't have hired him here. Jim wouldn't have hired him at Stanford if he wasn't a great coach, and DJ's doing a great job with that program.
Did you have advice for him as he took an interim head coach before, but what did you tell him as he left to kind of take over programming?
We didn't talk about it much. We didn't. He's a grown man. He's been very successful in every stop he's been at, and I just wished him luck, and you'd like to see good people do well, and he and his wife Sarah and their family, they're great people, and so he's just proven, he's showing what I think everybody that's ever been around him would know, that he's going to do a good job wherever he's at.
He talked about the importance of making sure he was being himself and not trying to be Jim Harbaugh Jr. or Urban Meyer Jr. or whatever. Was that a lesson you think he picked up at some point in his coaching career? Has he always been very much himself?
Well, I think people who have confidence, people that know what they want to do, don't have to emulate anybody else. I think they just do be themselves, and that's him. I don't think he's ever been anything but himself.
Besides his intensity, besides his work ethic, what else, something else stood out about DJ Durkin? What else was there?
Great character, great character. I mean, he's the kind of person that when he would say something, or like I think the players would probably agree that if he would tell them something, they would believe that their best interest was at heart. And he's never been a climber, a guy that's going to say I got to do this so I can move here or do that. No, he's always tried to do the best job he could do with what he has and do it. And I think that's what great coaches do. They always look at the team first. They look at the players first, and what can they do to help them be successful? That's why you coach, and DJ's done that.
Is Mo Hurst playing his best ball right now?
Yeah, Mo Hurst is playing well. He's playing well. I think it's the first time that he's been healthy for a stretch. Mo's been kind of plagued throughout his career with small injuries, and this is the first time, I think, if you asked him, he'd tell you, he feels the best he's felt.
Greg, when you go back to that first drive Saturday, what went wrong for you guys in front?
Well, I think the biggest thing was probably just not getting off on that third down. Throughout games, there's a lot of plays where all of a sudden if they get the third down, well, what's happening? Why are they moving the ball on you? That kind of thing. And that shows how impressive it is what Don's done and what this defense has done on third down. That makes a lot of things right when you get off the field on third down.
Because you guys have been so good on third down. Did the wind get tested there from up front? You think? Did they conditioning or anything?
No. We were good. In fact, I mean, if you look at, I think we were 4 for 11 or something like that. That's still pretty darn good. I think a lot of people would love for that. Our bar just seems to be higher than that, and it's just you never know. Like you get off on third down on that first one, all of a sudden it was like it was in the middle when we were 3 and out almost every time. So you never know. You never know what what that is. I mean, all of a sudden people say, "Boy, they're moving the football." Well, that's why you stop them on third down.
What's the key to November after guys have been grinding really for 3 months, including training camp?
It's really not November, it's the next game. I think, and maybe that's the answer, that it isn't looking at November and saying, boy, we got November now. No, the next game coming up is the most important game that we play, and it's the most important game on our schedule. And I think our players look at it that way, that no matter who it is, whenever it is, that next game you've got to play at your ability, and that's what our guys are working to do.
But are there things that guys have to do to take extra care of themselves physically? I mean, after you've put in this much time.
Yeah, and I think there starts to become a wear and tear maybe throughout that long stretch. But our head coach is pretty smart, and this isn't his first trip, and he knows how to set up practice and how to do it, do things, and Coach Brown knows exactly what this defense needs, and you as a position coach know how much better is this guy going to get if I give him 5 extra reps, so maybe I can get the guy behind him better by giving him those 5 extra reps. And I think that's what you have to do when you get to this point.
What's Lawrence Marshall have to do to see more time?
Well, he's working hard, and he's doing some good things. It just happened. We're blessed to have 2 deep across the board, and that 2 deep is pretty good, and he just needs to keep working.
You've been in that situation where you've coached against a team for which you coached before. What is that dynamic like when you come back to that stadium?
Yeah, I mean, I think you forget it. I don't think it even comes into play. Maybe you think about it in the week leading up to it, but once you get to that game and once your game plan, I mean, you don't look at what you maybe think somebody's going to do. You look at the tape and you look at what this team does, and then you go by that and you make adjustments on anything that happens throughout the course of the game. But I think all those are kind of maybe overplayed. You know, yeah, I think that's the next game for the team we're playing.